What's up, beautiful people? This is Mike from Mike Gets Well, and in today's video, we are doing the unboxing for LG QNED90 2021 Mini LED TV. And this specific model is in 65-inch, and that's the least size that you can get. And it costs $2,000 plus tax. And this TV is equipped with the Google Assistant, Alexa is built in, AirPlay 2, and it has the FreeSync premium support. And I'm going to be checking it with the PC whether it supports G-Sync or not. Usually it does if it supports the VRR. So this is 65 QNED90 model. It is not the QNED99. QNED99 is the 8K model, and this one is the 4K model. Alright guys, so make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that's going to help and support me a lot, and thank you so much for already doing that. Alright guys, so now let's unbox this TV and let me explain to you what's going on here with this TV. So QNED90 Mini LED TV, this one is the brand new edition from LG, and it is equipped with the mini LED. So there are so many LEDs out there, and there is that saturation of the LEDs. So they are distanced very closely and they're very small in size as compared to the previous LED TVs. So what it does make sure that you get that deeper blacks without getting blooming. So we're going to be looking into all of that, how good it does being the IPS panel. And I'm not really a big fan of IPS panel because they're good and amazing in colors, but they actually lack the blacks that you want, the contrast that you're looking from the VA panel. So this one has the IPS panel, but we're going to be looking into that. But right now I took this box out and I usually lay it down flat so that I can put the screen on that box, because that's most easiest way to mount those legs or stands on the TV. So this is what I usually do, and I'm going to be taking measurements of the soundbar, how you can place it under the TV, because as you can see at the back I have the LG OLED G1 there and I have a soundbar there, so I'm going to be looking into that. So this is dark steel finish, legs Y-shaped, and has the combination of plastic and metal. This one will go at the back of the TV and comes with the 4 screws that you can use. One thing you will notice that this year all the LG TVs come with the same magic remote control, which we have seen with the LG OLED C1, G1, and also with the Nano Cell TVs and with the 8K model. So remote control is the same, so that's the good thing. LG, I think, is trying to save money and give customers the same kind of like user experience, I guess. So that's a good thing. Alright, so guys, this TV is 1.25 inches thick as compared to the LG OLED G1 on the wall mounted at the back. That is the 0.75, like 3/4 of an inch, and this one is the 1.25 inch. So that's half an inch more. And you can see the LG QNED Mini LED branding on the TV on the bottom, and at the top there's a sticker that I'm gonna just take it out. And also there's energy saving guideline, like how much energy you're gonna consume. So $23 with the power saving mode on, but I'm gonna turn that off. I'll show you that when I go in the power on settings. Alright guys, so this is something that I get a lot from the people on my channel. They ask about like what's the distance between the legs so they can fit the soundbar and also the height. So that's what I'm doing right here. And the distance between the legs is actually the 45 inches, and the height that I have measured is the 3 inches. So if you're looking at a soundbar, it has to be at least 3 inches, less than that. Otherwise, it's going to cover the power light that you can see on the front of the TV. And this is the LG SN10YG soundbar. It's the Dolby Atmos soundbar, but this soundbar, as you can see, that it's really lengthy soundbar. So this soundbar is 56 inches in length, and you can see that the legs, the distance between the legs is the 45 inches. So if you're trying to fit something, it has to be less than 45 inches, and otherwise it's gonna be like that, and I wouldn't risk putting my soundbar like that because I have the kids running around and they might stumble upon it and it might fall, and it doesn't even look good aesthetically. So this is the situation. If you have the LG SN10YG soundbar or something like this, which is longer than 45 inches, it's not gonna fit. All right, now I have the Sonos Arc, which you can see that fits perfectly fine between the legs, and why not? Because this is the 42 inches long, so it fits right between the legs. But for the height, the Sonos soundbar is 3.25 inches, and the height that we have from the tabletop to the TV bottom is 3 inches. So you're still gonna be covering the power and the bezels from the bottom, but it's not as bad. And you have to make sure that bring it forward, because as you can see, those legs are facing those speakers. So on the side speakers, you're gonna have that sound bouncing back and forth with this stand. So you don't want anything in between those legs. I mean, usually you want something between the legs, but that's something else. All right, let's get back to the topic. But here you don't want anything between the legs because, you know, the sound, if you have the side speakers, it's going to bounce off those legs and all. All right, so enough of the legs. Now let's power on this TV and see what's in there. All right, guys, so in terms of the TV remote control, when I powered on the LG QNED90 for the first time, it also powered on my LG OLED G1 because they both share the same remote control in all the 2020 models. They all have the same remote control. So I have to go and actually unplug the power cord for the LG OLED G1 in order to avoid that, you know, the interference that is happening right now. And as soon as you power on the LG QNED90, you have the web OS showing up, which is the first time it takes a little longer, and the next time you power on, it's just gone. But in terms of like reflections, if you're looking at the screen, oh my God, it's like a mirror. It is like a diffuse reflections, but still there are like clear reflections. So I kind of start liking my OLED reflections now, because before I was like, okay, the OLED has the worst reflections, I guess, because it's kind of like mirror. You can get ready in the morning and go to work. But I kind of see that this IPS model, the LG QNED90, actually has far worse reflections as compared to the LG OLED, because LG OLED, it seems like, you know, those reflections are kind of like how your windows are tinted. So you can see the reflection, but they are tinted. But when you're looking at the LG QNED90 here, those reflections are like, you know, how your windows for the car are not so tinted. So the reflections are there on the IPS panel on this QNED90. I'm going to complete this setup real quick, and after that, we're going to get into, you know, what's there. There are a couple of things. They are just basic, so you can just, you know, skip through it. And there are only two things that I actually like to mention here, that if the TV is wall mounted, make sure to select the wall mounted. If it's on the stand, select the stand. And AI functions, I usually let them disabled, and then just go in the TV and turn off a couple of settings that I'm going to show you now. Alright guys, so now I'm going to do something that I recommend doing on all the LG TVs. So it's actually any brand out there, because it's going to hinder the performance. So now let's look at the picture menus that we have. We have whole sort of like Vivid, Standard, the Cinema, Sports. We have the Game Optimizer. We got the Filmmaker and the Expert Bright and Expert Dark. But I'm talking about something here which is going to actually limit the performance. So we're going to go to the settings menu for this one, and we're going to go to the all settings, and in the all settings we're going to see that in the Game Optimizer we're going to go down to the advanced settings, and you will see in the brightness section that the brightness is actually limited. So why we have this limitation? It is because of the energy saving is on. So we're going to have to turn it off, otherwise it's going to be automatically adjusting it according to the room and lighting conditions. So it's going to keep adjusting depending, like if somebody turns on the light in the kitchen and turns off the light. So it's going to, you know, make that change. And we're going to go to the support section and turn off that energy saving and keep it off. And there is one more thing that is actually causing this brightness to go up and down, which is in the general menu in the AI services, there is the AI brightness control. So we're going to turn off that AI brightness settings as well. And once you do that, now you have the full control of the TV. The TV is not gonna fluctuate in terms of, like, you know, the brightness going up and down, and it's not gonna be limited. So why limit? I mean, this TV is supposed to be giving you more brightness. So we're gonna be doing all those testings as well. So stay tuned for the further testing, because this video is getting lengthier. I know it's basic setup and basic settings, but the next video will have the in-depth review, because I need to spend some time with the TV in order to give the final verdict. So this is the Game Optimizer, guys. I have one bad news, that the Game Optimizer is there. It supports the VRR, but it does not have right now the game bar that we see on the LG OLED C1 and LG OLED G1. So the flagship TVs, the OLED TVs, are getting that game bar. So if you press the setting button, you don't have anything showing up, and it actually takes you to the settings itself. So we don't have that game bar right now. So this is before. I mean, don't get disheartened. I mean, I just wanted to show you guys what you will see right out of the box when you plug your Xbox Series X and you go to Game Optimizer. because the TV came with the factory update. So the software update 031175, this update was actually done before this TV was shipped out of the LG, wherever they store it and all, like whenever they install the software. So there was a new software update which was available, 031541, which actually showed that it had the game optimizer. So I'm going to show you what we have before the update and what we get after the update. So in order to do that, I connected my Xbox Series X and I go to the TV and display options and go to the 4K TV details. And you will see that we have everything, but we do not have the 4K Dolby Vision in the 120 Hz support. So this is before the update. And we also do not have the game optimizer's game bar that shows up on the screen, that fancy toggle screen that you can switch between the game modes. So that game bar we do not have, and also the Dolby Vision 120 Hz. So that's what I do. First, I check what the manufacturer shipped the TV with, and then go to the settings and update the TV. So I'm going to go and update the TV, and I'm going to show you the post update. What do we get? Alright guys, so you can see that the TV software has been updated to the latest firmware update, and now we're gonna go and press the setting button to see, okay, and we have the game bar showing up on the screen. So you won't have it, so don't panic. I mean, I thought like, oh wow, screw LG, why they didn't give me that game bar or the game optimizer's game bar so I can adjust settings and all. But now, as you can see that I have that showing up, and I'm gonna go to the all settings and show you guys this FPS, RPG, and all that stuff. I mean, you have seen that maybe previously on the LG OLED videos, and now we have it on the QNED as well. So the game optimizer is there. Now we're gonna go to the Xbox Series X setting menu and see if we got the Dolby Vision 120 Hz or not. And for that, we'll have to go back to the settings and go back to that TV and display options and see if we have it or not. So we're gonna go there in the settings, TV and display options. We have the refresh rate 120 Hz enabled, and we go in and see that no, it hasn't changed. So we do not have the Dolby Vision 120 Hz support for the LG QNED90 as of now. And I have that on my LG OLED G1, which is right next to it. I mean, it should be out there for all the new TVs that LG is shipping out, but right now they're just catering their top tier TVs. I mean, this should be a top tier TV as well. $2,000 is starting price for the the LED TV. It's a premium price that you're paying, so it should be coming with all the features that you need. But I launched the Forza Horizon and had to see like what display I'm gonna get. So you can see it's HDR. It's not the Dolby Vision 120 Hz, and I'm gonna have to close it and run it in the 60 Hz and see if I get the Dolby Vision in the 60 Hz or not. So HDR is working, so that's good. We have the 4K 120 Hz, and maybe in the future updates we're gonna have the Dolby Vision 120 Hz, because it's just matter of the software updates. These all TVs are actually capable of doing the 4K 120 Hz Dolby Vision. So as you can see right now, we have the 4K 120 Hz, so it should be also doing the 4K 120 Hz in Dolby Vision. All right, so this TV comes with the two HDMI 2.1 ports, if I forgot to tell you guys about that. And that is on the HDMI number 3 and 4. So HDMI number 3 and 4 is actually the HDMI 2.1. So you want to connect your Xbox Series X to the HDMI 3 or 4, depending on if you have a receiver or not. But if you have receiver, then you have to connect your Xbox to the HDMI 4. But if you have HDMI 2.1 receiver, which I do not prefer, to be honest, then you can connect the Xbox Series X directly to the receiver. But there are two HDMI 2.1 ports, and then HDMI 2.0 ports is on the HDMI 1 and HDMI 2. And this is the Dolby Vision we have in the 60 Hz. So I just wanted to make sure I test it out using my Xbox Series X. And we have the game bar working. Now I'm gonna go and see how it performs in the dark and also in the bright. And I'm not using my benchmarking disc right now because this takes a lot. I have to bring my Blu-ray and connect it to it, and that's what I have planned for the next video. I'm gonna be testing the peak brightness in different picture modes and the picture settings, and we're gonna be looking into a couple of other things like the input lag. So I have to connect my input lag device to see how much is the input lag there. And LED local dimming by default is on the low on all the picture modes in the HDR. You can change it also in the Dolby Vision, it's on the low. Higher the local dimming is, more better the blacks and the contrast you're gonna have. So that's what you have to look into if you get this TV. You can change that by going into the picture setting, and you can use the high local dimming if you want to in order to get those deep blacks. And I recommend that doing if you're watching most of your TV in the nighttime when the lights are off. Alright guys, so you can see that right now it's on the local dimming, and local dimming is on high. And as soon as I'm gonna turn off the local dimming, you're gonna see the effect, and I can show you here that this is the local dimming off, and you can see the blooming all over the screen. And also my ISO on the camera has increased so much so that you guys can see it clearly, and as soon as you trigger the local dimming, it actually disappears, and it's really minimal. There is blooming, I'm not gonna lie, there is blooming on the TV because this is not your OLED TV. This is still the mini LED TV. It's not the micro LED TV, but it's exceptional. You know, when you're looking at the LED TV, is giving you that brightness, and the trade-off is that you're not gonna have the deepest blacks as you get from the OLED. So is it annoying? No, it is not annoying, as I know that what I'm getting into is mini LED. It has slight blooming. It's not a lot. And if you're sitting right in front of the TV, you're not going to notice it as much. As you can see, I cranked up my ISO so much that the entire screen is just, the whole highlights are blown, right? But still you can see the blacks. They are intact there. So the local dimming high is actually working on the LG QNED TV, and this is not even the 8K model, which has like way more dimming zones than this one. I believe around like 1000 or above 900 dimming zone on that specific model. And here you are looking at the beautiful colors, because that's what you're gonna get when you pay for the IPS panels. They're good in colors, and I'm not a big fan of IPS panels, but when you're looking at the technology that LG is using in here with the Nano Cell and quantum dot and using the mini LEDs, it's actually finally working. I never liked the LG's Nano Cell TVs, and I told people not to buy that TV. I mean, it's not really something that I can recommend. Even for myself, I will never own the LG Nano Cell TV. But with the mini LED TV, with the Nano Cell and the quantum dot, it is finally working. That it has eliminated that worse blooming. It hasn't eliminated the blooming completely, because you will get that blooming no matter what, because you're not having the 8 million pixels lighting by themselves. There are barely 60,000 LEDs in there. So imagine like 60,000 versus the 8 million individual LEDs in the OLED. So you can't compare these both TVs like to the OLED, because it's never gonna be performing the same way as OLED. Even though if it will do the local dimming aggressively, you're gonna be missing out some of the details. And I'll put the link in the description for the QN90A. I checked it on the Samsung TV, where some of the stars were, or those fireworks, some of the particles were just totally eliminated from the screen because of the aggressive local dimming. So there are trades-off. On OLED, you get that deepest blacks, the contrast that you want, but at the cost of the low brightness. In the QNED world now, you have that amazing brightness. I mean, it's almost blinding brightness when I'm looking at this TV playing this HDR demo. But the blooming, that is something that you're gonna get. It's not like annoying blooming that is gonna be troublesome when you're watching the content. And this is the situation where all the lights are off. You can see it has so much brightness that even with the all lights off in my living room, still you can see how bright it makes my room. I don't even need lights, to be honest, in my living room if I'm using this TV in the dark. And when I lower the ISO to a level where you can see, this is how you actually going to be seeing with a really slight bloom, and most of it is just perceived one. You know how you're looking at something really bright and then there's dark next to it, so that's perceived blooming or perceived halo effect that you see. But in terms of like looking at the TV itself, you're not going to notice it as much. All right, so now this is all about the dark, which this TV is not actually made for, like dark performance. That's what your OLED is, but still it performs good. So now the thing is, should you buy it at $2,000 price mark? Maybe I'll say wait, because there are TVs out there for LG. You know, we have seen the price drop really crazy in just a couple of days. So $2,000 kind of bit more for this TV. I'll say that if this TV is around like $1,500 to $1,600 with all the features it is offering, I mean, it's going to be an amazing deal. And usually LG TVs go down about $200, $300 on sale right away. In some cases, like very first month, you will see that happening. So I'll say $1,600 is a fair price for this TV. And at $2,000, I'll just look somewhere else. Probably like if you're looking at the deepest blacks, you can maybe go with the OLED. If you're looking at the brightness that you need, maybe then you can consider this TV. And now I'll play some more demo, and then make sure to hit the like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in another video. Until then, peace out.